we were looking at the data import and export, and we understood how to read an image and how to see the image, how to display the image. All right, now I'll show you another technique using which we can get the information about that image. Okay, so I can write say info equals to IMF info of the variable name. I think I should be able to see. So this is not possible, and then I just have to type the name as it is. So this is NGC 65438 dot GPG. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, okay, so you cannot type the variable name over here, but definitely you can type the name of the image completely over there. Okay, so that's going to show you this, the details. Now what all details you get, you can see here the file name, its complete path. Okay, and the modification date, previously when it was modified. So the recent modification was done on this date, right? And size, what format it is, etc. Right? So complete details, width, height. So what is the depth of the image, right? Etc. Complete details we get related to this. All right. Then let's go on to this. Now let's say I want to write a data into an image file. This is the next option. So let's do that. Here, CLC. So I have to have some data with me, and I want to write that data onto a specific image file, right? It has to be as image file. So what I have done, I already have saved the details in a specific what do you call mat file. It's not an image file, it is .mat file, which is a MATLAB file. So I'll just load it. Okay, so load uh, m dot mat. So you can see the detail comes up over here. All right, so this is a 200 into 320 double format, right, in which I just want to write using a. Now I want to create an image file. All right, so that is I am write. It's a function to write an image file. So there is a variable called x, and I want to write the map variables. Two things. I want to write it into a specific file with the file name, maybe my dot. See, I'll use png. Any format you want, you can write. Okay, I just want to show how to write it. So just so myclown.png. So on the left hand side, you can see that myclown.png has been, it is open. Okay, and when I click on that, it actually shows you the image which it has written over there. Correct? So that is the image. Right. So like this, if you have the data with you, you can write that into an image. Okay, so that was the technique to use to read and write the contents, right? Uh, from an image or to an image. This is to read image. I think then I'll also add up the point with this itself, that is read images and write images. This is what we have seen. The next one is to read and write the other type of data in audio format. Okay, so let's see how to deal with audio files in the MATLAB. Now, first thing, let's see how to convert something into an audio file. First, we'll see that because right now there is no saved audio file in my system. I'll just try to create an audio file first. So let's do that. So I'll just load a specific data written in .mat format, and this is HANDEL dot mat. So you can see it's being loaded on the right side. You can see the fs indicating the sampling rate of that particular data, and y is actually the amplitude, right? I can actually uh, plot that y just to show you that how it looks like, right? You can see it's a, right? You can see that the it's a audio file, right? So you can see the plot of that. Correct. Now, so uh, so we have loaded the data into the workspace. Now I want to create an audio file. Say various audio formats can be created, right? So let's write that using audio write function, AUDIO write. So if you use audio write command, you have to specify first which file you want to write. What is the name of the file? Let me call that as let me write a specific wave format, WAV. This is the format in which I want to write. Comma, what are the variables you want to write? The y is one parameter, which is the amplitude, and I have to specify at what rate you want to write, because audio has a specific parameter called sampling rate. The sampling rate is also present over there. I just have to mention that in this command. So remember, audio write expects you the wave, the file name you want to write, followed by the amplitudes that is present in y, and what sampling rate that is present in this case fs. So I'll just press this and I can see the variable coming, that variable appears over here. Okay, so HANDEL dot WAV comes into picture. You can see that it is here. So now what I do, I'll try to eliminate the workspace. All right, so I'll simply write here. I don't want anything that is already existing in my workspace. Right. Now I will look at the details of the file which is created. Assume that this is the wave file, right? This is the audio which is present in my system. Since I didn't had, I had to create that. So I created this. So this is how you write. If you have data related to audio with you, you can write. So I already showed you how to create the file. Right. Matrix into audio file, you can do like this. Now, how to look at the info? So I can say, I'll save it as a info variable. Info is equal to, now the info can be seen in the following, using the following function. This is audio info. Okay, and the file name dot wave. Right, now you get the complete details. It's a struct, it creates a structure, right? And you see the complete details, right? What is the total duration? How many channels you have? Is it compressed or not? Where is it located? And you can see that how many number of samples you have. What is the duration, right? How many bits are there per sample? And if you have any details about the title, comment, artist, that will also be shown. Now it is empty. Okay, so we get the details of any audio file using this technique. Now, let me say I have an audio file with me. I want to read it. Okay, I want to read that into my system, right? So, let me once again clear everything. Right. So, in order to read the audio file, right? So, by default, audio has two features. What are the two features? First one is the amplitude, second one will be the sampling rate. I have to read it, so I need two variables, y and you give any name. I'll give the same name as fs. Okay, so I can write samples followed by uh, sampling rate, right? So YFS were already existing. I just want to show that it's not same, right? So the function to read an audio file is AUDIOREAD, right? Audio read. Simply specify what is the name of the file. So what's the name of the file? It's HANDEL dot WAV. So as soon as I press this, two of the variables will be coming into this place. You can see samples and sampling rate. Right. Now, like when I read an image, when I create an image, I had an option to see the image, right? Like that, I also have an option here to uh, to hear this particular sound, correct? So that can be done simply by using a command sound of. First, you need to specify the y value. So y indicates samples for us, followed by the sampling rate. We have saved it using the sampling rate itself. Okay. So when you press this, you can hear the audio from your speaker. Okay. So that sound gets played and you can hear it. All right. Then that was about what you call as the audio read and write options. Then we have another type of data that is possible. Again, that could be the input for our projects. All right. So the 12th one is the video files. Right. We can even do the reading and writing of the video file. Right. Let's see how we can do that in MATLAB. So first, let's here. See. Now you have to create an object first, because the video is a huge file. Video will not be the small files like image or audio, right? So because of that, we have to first create an object, right? So that object can be created by a function called video reader. All right, so let's create an object first. So vid object obj short form uh, is equal to, let's use the function video reader. So specify any video file which you have. Again, I have a file called xylophone. Okay, again, it is in MP4 format. So I just have to specify that. And this is how you create an object. So you can see that that object gets created on this side, right? So details, you can see the complete details of that particular file will come into picture when you do this video reader, right? It actually talks about what's the file, what's the duration of that, where is it located, right? How many bits per pixel, what's the frame rate, height, number of frames, what format it is, RGB 24 bits representation for all the colors, width in terms of pixels 320, right? Is there any tag, user data, current time, etc. All the details you can see, right? That's why you create an object to read that. So by creating an object, you give the MATLAB the details of the file which you want to read beforehand. It reads something. Right. Now I want to read to my say video. My video is equal to, so simply call read function. You are just asking MATLAB to read the object which you have created. What is the object? It is vid obj. Okay. Press this. Now that video is actually present in your system. Now we can see video is a 4-dimensional signal, right? So anyway, it's not possible to display the 4-dimensional signal by default, but you can see the details, right? My video, right? I can ask who's really able to see that. Video object is 1 into 1. It's a video reader class. But my video is actually 240 into 320. It's an image into 3 color image into 141. 141 such images. So you can see it is a 4-dimensional signal. There are 4 dimensions in this. Right. So by just looking at whose, I understand that. Right. This is the details of the video which we just try to read. We can see that. All right. Now, uh, let's see. All right. Now, after this, let's say I want to record something. Let me move one step ahead. And I want to show you how to record an audio, right? First, because audio recording we never saw. We just saw previously that how do you convert a matrix file into audio. That's what we have seen. But recording should be possible because in my project I might have to process audio processing project where you live record the file in a live fashion, right? So that should be available, right? So let's do that. Right. So in order to record in audio, you have to create another object by using a audio recorder object, right? So create a recording object that is equal to audio recorder. So this creates a object, right? Again, you can see that these are the default values, right? Corresponding to your system. It will be repeated. Now, by default, the audio recorder creates a 8000 hertz. Sampling rate is defined here. You see, it is 8000 hertz. Right. It's always going to create a 8 bits per sample standard and one channel, single channel audio object will be created. In the sense, by default, you can record uh, the audio with the following specifications. Okay. Now, say I want to record an audio for 5 seconds. Possible. Maybe, right? I will have to write a record blocking. Sorry, BLOCKING, record blocking, right? I want to start record. As soon as you press enter, it will start recording. Okay, so record blocking. Then I have to activate my object which I have created, that is rec object, and followed by you have to specify what is the length. You see, it says its suggestion is length in terms of seconds. Say I want to records for 5 seconds. All right, now you see, as I press enter, right, it will record. So I have to say something. Hello, hello, mic testing. Hello, hello, mic testing. Hello. So it finished. You see the arrow max came once again. So it means you can see that recording is over. Right. Whenever it is busy, it will not show this. Okay. Now it is done. Now, if you want to listen to what you have recorded, simply use play. Okay. So play the object RECOBJ. Right. So simply press enter. So it will be played, right? Whatever it has been recorded will be played in your the speaker of your system. Right. Now, let us say I want to store this data, right? Now it actually has been recorded. You can see that 8000 samples into 5 seconds. How many? 40,000 samples. Now you see it has been updated. Correct? Previously everything was 000, right? When we created, but now you see this is what it happened. In the next case, I just want to write this particular recorded data onto a variable. Say y is equal to, you can do that using get audio data, right? Get the audio data from that recorded object and put it into y. So from where you are going to take it, it's rec object. Okay, so it created y. You can see 40,000 samples, right? So I can actually plot and see this y itself now itself, just to verify that what was recorded. You can see I told hello, hello, mic testing, hello, hello, like that, right? So that audio data you can see here. All right, then okay, I could see what I did so far. Right, then in the next option, let's go one step ahead. So we know that how to read and write the data. Okay, so I think I can add one more point here, that is how to load and save something into the mat format. Already we have done that, but anyway, let me make you to recall that. So I'll clear this. Let me assume that I want to write the contents, the current contents in the workspace into a file. Okay, so into the most common file which MATLAB can read and write in a very faster fashion without using any of the codecs or any of the drivers, is that it is a mat format .mat, right? You can see two of the mat formats here, which we I think had written in the previous sessions. I'll just erase that, so I don't want to have anything ready over there. I want to show how to do that. So if you want to write all the workspace variables into a file, simply write save. Okay, followed by you can write it like within this you can give the name like my data dot at, right, and close this. So you can see that the my data dot mat gets created, and when you press this, you can see that it has the three objects, right? So it got saved. Now you can clear the variable. It actually got cleared from here, but how to bring it back? Simply load light like this, my data dot mat. Okay, now you can see when I press enter, the data will come back into the workspace. So right, whatever was saved will come back. This is the first thing, right? Then this is the standard method to write, but there is another method to do the same thing, right? Let me erase this my data dot mat, and I'll show you. You don't have to be specific about what is the format, and you don't have to use a bracket and single quote, etc., because MATLAB will recognize by that's a default way of writing, right? So you can simply write save, then give the name as my data. That's all. This is sufficient. You will see that a .mat gets created by the same name with the extension, right? You don't have to be specific. This is the recent versions of MATLAB supporting that. Okay, older versions may not support this, right? So recent version definitely will do this, right? Similarly, now I clear. So loading is also same, right? You just have to write load the my data. So you can see that it comes into the workspace, right? So it's so easy, straightforward. Okay, that's the first thing, right? Then let me say I don't want to write all the workspace variables into a file. I want a part of it, right? Like say I just want to say y. I don't want the answer and the rec object. Those two things I don't want. Or let me say I just want a rec object and y. Two things I want to write. Selectively, I want to write something onto the file. So how to do that? You can do that using the following techniques. So first I'll tell you the original version using which you have to do that. So this is save, right? What is expected? First you are supposed to mention what is the file name. So this is my data 2.mat. This is what is expected. All right. Come on. Then you will mention what are the variables that you want to write. So I want to write y, and I want to write recobj. So whichever files you want to write, you can write. If you want to write all, then all these are not required. Simply write only the file. Okay, so do this. Now you see my data 2 will be created, right, in this, in the workspace, correct? This is the one technique, right? Similarly, you can simply go for load, it will load that. When I say load this, it will directly load the specific values from there, right? Again, now you see in the, okay, I'll first clear, and now you see, I know that in my data 2, I have two things, that is y and rec object. But what if you want to load only something, only one part? So load, right? Just mention the file name, that is my data2 dot and specify what you want to read. I just want to read y. I don't want anything else. So press enter, only y comes into the workspace. Right? Like this, you can selectively read and write. So by default, what is the that this is the default method using the brackets and the exact formatting. But the easiest way is save. Right? Simply write my data 3, then tell what you want to write. Say just 5. Okay, in this case I am writing all, so I may not be able to show you that. So let me load my data first. Load, I can see all the 3 came. Now how to write selectively to a file in a faster fashion. So this is save, right? The data name, that the file name, my data 3, page, I'll just write y, and I want to say rec object. So see, it actually writes into another file. So simply you can write code. Okay, I'll do a clear first, and I'll show you how to code specific things from this. So from my data 3, I want to load only rec object. What was the name? Rec obj, I guess. Oh, my mistake. Sorry, I didn't mention the file name at all. That's my mistake. So I have to specify my data 3. Then you tell the the name of the variable, rec. So you see the rec object comes into the workspace. So like this, you can operate, and you can select the variables which you want to write to a function and the variables which you want to read from a specific function. All right, now let's move ahead. So that actually that part finishes the data import and export concepts related to the MATLAB. Okay, now moving ahead, the next concept is, again we are under the data analytics itself. I'll show you how to perform a data pre-processing. Data pre-processing is a common step in most of the projects. So we have to consider this, right, whenever we go ahead with any project. So this is data pre-processing. This is just an example which shows you, uh, which illustrates you how one can clean the messy and missing data from a table. Okay, so my objective now is to show you how to clean the messy and the missing data from say a tabular data. Okay, now let's go to the MATLAB window. Directly I'll show you in MATLAB. So let me clear everything, screen as well. Fine. So let me read a table which contains all sort of data, like messy data. Fine. Let me take it into a table. T is equal to read table. I have a messy data saved in a uh, file that has been named as MESS messy data dot CSV file. Okay, and I want to specify that you can actually ask MATLAB to treat the empty locations in the that particular uh, table when you put it into a table, right? If you have, right, whatever is uh, if I have a dot or if I have a not available, something like that, you can treat it as empty file. Okay, I can ask MATLAB by using a specific keyword called treat as empty. This is a keyword which asks MATLAB to treat the following as empty. So what are they? You have to specify them in the form of a cell array. So first one is a dot. If you see only dot in a space, take it as an empty. And if you see a NA, right, not applicable or not available, that also you are going to consider it as an empty space. All right. So this is what I'm going to ask the machine to do first. It's a read table. Anyway, you know that it's going to be put up into the format of a table. All right. So when I press, okay, I'll not use a semicolon. Just want you to show that this is what I'm reading. Okay. So that particular file has like this. So you can see that there was an empty location here, which has been replaced by an empty character 0 into 0, right? This is what I wanted to show you when you use treat as empty. Okay, otherwise, right, there will be NA or dot present in that location. So first thing I try to do like this, right? Then if you, let me clear this. Let's say I read using this particular function and I'm not displaying message. Okay, I didn't display something. So how to look at the details of this table? I think we have discussed when we discussed the tabular data. So that can be done using SUMMARY, the summary function. Okay, ask summary of this table T. That's going to give you the complete details. Okay, so A is 21 into 1 cell array with the characters, B is 21 into double, minimum, maximum, median, and missing values. There are 3 missing values. Like that, you see, you get the complete details. This is what is the summary of a table is all about. Okay, now I will check, right, whether there is a missing data. Find the missing rows and tables. That will be your second object. Right, you loaded the data into a variable. Now my objective is to find out whether you have a missing data somewhere or not. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll create a index, so that is equal to, I'll ask a question, is missing. So is missing is a function to identify where you have missing values in the table, and you are going to specify what are your missing data. What do you mean by the missing data? So I will specify, for me the missing data includes simply, right, nothing. So inside the single quotes, don't specify anything, right? It's not even a space. Okay, followed by you can actually specify, I want to say dot. Okay, if you see simple dot, that's also a missing data. Then I'll specify NA is a missing data for me. Then I will specify NAN is also, sorry, NA capital N is also a missing data form. And if I have, you see, there are some hardwares, I just want to show you some hardwares which will put a number like -99 whenever the value is not valid or value is outside the scope of that particular machine. Okay, so I just want to show you this data particularly contains this number. So I just wanted to show you how to detect that. So I'm saying the machine that find out of the whole table which I have read, that is I think small t, capital T. Yeah, I'll update. So in this capital T, identify, right, where and all I have all these, right? Consider them as missing. Okay. Now I will simply press this. The TF will come into picture. So if you open TF, you get a logical array, right? You can see that wherever this condition is met, you can get ones and ones over there. You can see there is a one here, there is a one here, another one here, etc. You can see all those are going to meet the specific condition we mentioned. It has either of those specified as missing characters. Okay, now I'll go back to, I'll find out what are the rows, right? So I'll rows with missing. Rows with missing is equal to, how do you find out? It is in that T, right? I want to check that anywhere in that row, any value is one or not. So use any function, any of, what is the index? Index is given by TF, right? In which direction? It row wise. So specify TF comma 2 indicates row wise any of them is true for all the columns, right? You see in the T, if this is the case, I just want to find out what are the rows. So you see rows with missing is equal to, so I can see that there is a not a number here, right? There is a null character here, not a number here, minus 99 here, not a number here and here. So these are the 5 rows in the whole matrix, a whole table which contains invalid characters. Are you okay? All right. Okay, let's move further. Now replace the missing values with some indicators. Okay, so normally the standard way of missing can be replaced by not a number, because missing number like minus 99, let's say I'm reading the temperature data, right? And at some point the machine, the hardware which I use is not able to read the data. It puts a minus 99 over there, some negative number, right? You know that it's not a valid, right? So what you can do, you can convert that minus 99 into a not a number. That's called as replacing the missing value by some indicator. This is possible now. So how to do that? Let's see now. So I just want to replace the missing by something. Okay, so that can be done in the T itself. T is equal to, there is a function called standar, dize, standardize missing. Standardize missing in your table T, specifically specific what? Minus 99. Okay, so this is going to replace, I'll just do this. So wherever I had 99, I think there was a PROJ2 in this particular row had minus 99, 99, 99. So I'll just see what happens when I get this. So let's check that. Where is that PROJ2? Now you see it is NAN, NAN, NAN. It actually has done what is called as a standardization of the missing value. This is one step of cleaning the data, right? I try to make everything, right, every data in the standard format, then I try to remove that. Okay, then now you see I have multiple options to see. Only NANs I have, right, throughout. So now what are the missing data? Missing data is NAN only. You see previously we had many cases like dot, right, empty, etc. Now if you have something which is missing, now you have many options to make changes. Something like, you can, if a specific value is missing, say this number is missing, right, I have an option to take the average of previous and the next number and fill that, because you cannot say that you cannot neglect the whole row, because that whole row has some value, correct? So you cannot neglect that. So in such cases we have many options to update these missing values. I'll tell you one option. So this is say T2, I'll create a new table. T2 is equal to, there is an option called fill missing. Fill the missing data in the table T with what you want to fill. I'll say previous. Okay, so fill missing the table T with the previous values. So now the T2 is created. I'll just show you the T2 itself. So now you see there is no missing value at all, right? It means you actually read a messy data table. You try to clean the table by eliminating all the missing values, updating it with some logic, right? You can definitely use the previous value, next value, etc. Right? Like that, I can definitely do this. Okay, now I know that my T still has, this is T2, right? This particular table is T2. But what I do, I'll create I'll tell you how, if at all I don't want to have the missing data getting updated by or replaced by something else, right? If that is the case, let me show you the, I think the T itself. T actually has the missing data, okay? NaN, etc. are present. Now, if you want to remove the rows having missing values, then that is also possible, right? It's not that you have to replace it with something. You can remove it. This is also a process of right, rectifying the uh, or handling the missing value. So how to do that? I'll create a new table. T3 is equal to, you just have to tell the machine that remove them. So Rm for remove missing. From where? From T. That's the table. So you see T3 will come now. So this T3, I compare the T3 and T1. T1 actually was 21 into 5, out of which 5 rows had missing value. So remove 5 from that, remaining values are 60. Right? You see the T3 has only 16 values with us. Okay. Then what else you can do? You can definitely go ahead with the sorting of operation, right? It's again, this is the operation that you can perform, right? Uh, it's like you are trying to uh, convert the data in the format which you require, which you expect, like formatting. Let's look at the formatting options now. So formatting can be done using formatting can be done by using organizing the data in ascending or descending. Correct? So let me show you. This already we have done. So let me quickly go through this. So T3, okay, T3 is actually the sorted one, right? So I'll write maybe T4. T4 is equal to, so sort is a function to sort, right? Which one you want to sort? That is a T3. And specify which columns, right? You have to specify in the form of which one should come first. So this is say, I think what was the names? Names are capital letters. So C, I want to sort C, and I want to sort A, maybe, comma, specify the order in which you want to do this. Okay, so I want to sort C in the descending order. So descend, followed by A, I want to do it in ascend. Okay, I don't want this. So just see now, right? As per your requirement, it has been ascending and descending order. Okay. A is in the ascending order, A to Z. Then descending order of C will be, so it's in the same order. First, it performs the descending of C first. You are asking perform C first, right? Descending. So yes and no will come in the order. Then among yes, you have increasing order for A. See, this is ascending order. Once again, you have ascending order for the second set of. Okay, that's how uh, you can actually organize the data by using the sorting operation. All right, then I'll do one more option. I'll show you one more option, right? So that is, I can actually reshuffle this rows and sorry, reshuffle the columns, right? Again, this is a practice session for you. Already we have done that. So A, B, C, D, E is there. I just want to have A, C, B, D, E, right? I want to change the order. So how to do that? This is pretty straightforward. So this is T4 is equal to T4 of all the rows will not change. Okay, that's why. Sorry. All the rows, comma, specify the columns in which order you want. So I want to have A first, then I want to have C for C, then I want to have D, then I want to have say B, at last I want to have E. Close this and center. Sorry, I think, oh yeah, so I missed a bracket. Please see to that. You have to close this. Okay. Now you see the order change A, C, D, B, E as per the